Welcome back to Maverick Overland Adventures, guys. In this gigantic box is the next piece of the Overland build. So let's get this thing opened up. This is a comically large box for the small product that this is. There it is, guys. This is the brand new Bunker Industries shower tent that they just recently released. So why would you need a shower tent mounted to your vehicle when you're out overlanding? Well, that's actually a pretty simple answer. One, if you want to take a shower tent. These can be pretty great for a variety of reasons though. If you just want some privacy to change your clothes while you're in a busy campground or something like that, these are awesome. A lot of guys also use these to put their camp toilets in. I have actually been wanting a shower room for the Maverick build for a long time now. It's just not something that I've gotten to yet. So when Bunker Industries reached out to me and asked if I wanted to test this new product, I was extremely excited, especially since I'm already actually familiar with Bunker Industries. I have a set of their traction boards that I keep at the back of the trucks. But while I already know that I like their traction boards, I know absolutely nothing about this product. This is my first time ever having my hands on one of these, or even knowing that it exists for that matter. So the goal of this video is we're going to get this box opened up, take a look at everything that's inside of here, go through all the various features of this product. Then we're going to get it mounted up on the Maverick, get it all opened up so I can show you guys what it looks like opened up on a vehicle. We'll do a detailed walkthrough of it, and then I'll give you guys my final review. All right, let's get this baby opened up. I will say right off the bat here, this looks like it's very well packaged. It looks like they probably use like an entire roll of packing tape on this probably. Staples all down the side, holding the cardboard flap down so it doesn't open up in transit. Always nice. Always makes me happy when I see companies packing their stuff up properly, so I know that it's gonna make it to me and I don't have to worry about it getting damaged. But it looks like the end of the box just opens up here, and we've got the product inside and another nice little plastic wrap. They definitely do not skimp out on the packaging, that's for sure. Looks like we got an instruction manual in there. Okay, so we got our package contents here, and I'm actually seeing brackets, bolts, washers, lock nuts. Like I said, completely unaware of what comes in this package because I know nothing about this product, and it appears that it actually does come with mounting brackets, which is super cool. Got installation instructions there, setup instructions, all that fun stuff, warranty on the back. That's what it looks like there. Very rugged canvas bag on this, very, very rugged. Everything looks like it's double stitch seams. I always look at stuff like that, especially around zippers. You'll see like a lot of these cheaper products will have just like a single stitch down the zipper or whatever, like down the sides, and that stuff's gonna start fraying up and pulling apart pretty fast. But even on this little flap down here, all this stuff where it's folded over is all double stitched. The Velcro is all double stitched on there. Looks real good quality so far. Nice bright bold yellow Bunker Industries logo on there. Flip this over, take a look at the back side. So this is your mounting plate here where you're going to be mounting it to your vehicle. Nice solid, real thick piece of aluminum actually. And something that I'm seeing here that I really, really like are the fact that these mounting channels run the entire length of the shower tent, meaning that when you put those mounting brackets on here, essentially you have infinite adjustability across the entire face of this shower tent to where you can put those brackets to get them mounted to your rack for your particular application. And for me, that's a huge deal because one of the most common questions that I see people asking in overlanding forums is how to mount their awnings or mount their shower rooms to their rack, because the way that the manufacturer has set that product up is the holes on it don't line up with that person's rack. So the fact that this company has made this completely universal and infinitely adjustable so it lines up with essentially any application that you need it to, that is a huge deal for me. Something else here that really shows attention to detail is the addition of these little cutouts, so you can actually get the hardware into the channels without having to open all this stuff up and slide them in from the end. So that's an awesome little feature there, and something that I wish more companies would add onto their extruded aluminum channel parts. While we're here, let's just go ahead and open this up and take a little look-see inside. I just like to pull everything apart and really see how things are put together. So this is just a little flap that kind of closes the canvas cover over the aluminum there, and it just closes up like that. Okay, so let's open this up and take a look at what is inside. Okay, and it looks like this rolls up nice and neat inside this cover. Something I am noticing too that I really like is that this cover is like way oversized for this. Granted, it is rolled up from the factory, so when I try to re-roll this myself, we will see how easy it is to put back together. But for me, something about camping gear, I don't know what it is, but it's like these manufacturers just can't make the bag big enough to fit the thing back inside of it. So when a company makes a bag that is actually easy to roll the damn thing back up into, That's a huge deal for me, just because it's a convenience thing. The whole point of this Overland thing is your rig is supposed to be easy to set up and make camping convenient. Let's take a look at these straps. These always scare me. A lot of companies have a tendency to use just like one row of stitching, and eventually when you are cinching down this strap nice and tight to get this thing bundled up in here, you're gonna pull too hard and rip that out of the stitching. But in this case, it looks like Bunker Industries actually double stitched that strap into the stitching on this canvas. So that's really nice to see. Give it a little pull here. It feels pretty durable. I don't feel like I'm gonna tear it out of there. So we'll see. That's gonna be one of those time will tell type of situations, but let's open that up. Nice Velcro strap to help roll the awning up into the bag. Got a little bag inside here. It feels like these are probably gonna be some stakes to stake it down to the ground. Got a USB cord in here, which is actually a super cool feature that will kind of show you guys what that does here in a few minutes. And it looks like we've got our hardware here. So we've got our channel bolts, we've got our nuts, and we've got another little bag over here, which is probably going to be our mounting brackets. Let's take a look at these guys. So these actually appear to be pretty nice. They're very thick pieces of metal, and I think that these might actually be steel. They're pretty heavy. Oh yeah, there's no give to that at all. I cannot bend that. So these are gonna be most likely steel. I figured they would have been aluminum, so that's a nice touch. A lot of companies like using aluminum because it's light and it's cheap, which is great until it breaks or it bends open. So a little bit of extra weight on the steel, but if that gives me that much more durability and lasts longer, I'm all for that. Lots of mounting points here too, I'm noticing. I think this longer side is what actually is gonna mount to your vehicle rack. Yeah, so these two holes on the shorter side look like what are gonna actually mount into the shower awning here. So all of these holes that they've added on this long side are for getting this thing mounted up to your vehicle. So they really did a good job at making this universal so you can mount this to any particular rack that you have. That's nice to see. Now assembly on this should be pretty easy here. So you've got all your hardware, and you've got a bunch of these channel bolts here. So these just go into that open slot on the channel, and then you can just slide them to anywhere that you choose. You've got all of your lock nuts, and you also have a bunch of washers in here. So to get your brackets on, really all you have to do is you're gonna slide in 2 of these, and you're gonna take your bracket, line up the holes, put a washer on each of those, and then you can put your lock nut on there. 1/2-inch size drive. One of the nice things that I always like about these T-bolts is that once you have the end of it in that channel, you don't have to have 2 tools. You can just tighten it down with the ratchet. Very convenient. Now I'm gonna get that to where it's almost tightened down, but loose enough to where I can still slide it back and forth, because we're gonna have to line these up to get it mounted on the rack. So when it comes to getting this mounted to your vehicle, you'll notice that the kit includes several extra T-bolts and various hardware. So these T-bolts are included for if you have an Overland rack like mine made out of extruded aluminum or similar, to where it has these channels in it, to where these T-bolts will just slide into those channels, go through the holes on your mounting bracket, and then you can fasten a nut down to it and secure this to your vehicle rack. There are of course other options depending on your application. You might opt to not go with these T-nuts if you don't have a rack that they're compatible with, and you could just go with a set of bolts that you can pick up from the hardware store that will go through these holes and mount into whatever kind of rack you have. So very, very simple. Now when it comes to getting this mounted up to your vehicle, there's a couple different things you're gonna have to think about. In my particular case, I really want the shower tent mounted right here. The reason for that is if I have it mounted back here, when I have it opened up at camp, I'll still have access to open up my doors. There are a couple problems, however, that I can see with mounting it back here. The number one thing being that the space is going to get kind of tight. I've got my rooftop tent right here, so I'm still going to need access behind the shower tent to where I can at least do the Velcro on the perimeter of my tent. And I also need to be able to still get my hand in here so I can undo the quick releases if I need to take the tent off the truck. I just feel like it would be in the way right here of putting things up on the roof rack, and I would also lose a lot of these tie down points in the Unistrut where I could be putting like ratchet strap hooks to tie that stuff down. So I think that back here is going to be the best spot, and those are just things that you're going to have to think about that are going going to be specific to your particular rig. Now, once you figure out where you're going to mount this at, that also tells you how you're going to mount it, whether you're going to use the included hardware or if you need to go get some other kind of bolts or something. In my case, I'm actually in a really good position because I have the Xtrusion Overland XTR1 rack on the back of this truck. So what I can do is I can actually take this side brace that I'm not currently using for anything, raise this up, and then I can utilize those T-bolts that are included with the Bunker Industries kit in these channels right here to mount that shower tent right where I want it. So I think that's what we're going to try to do. All right, so just went ahead and removed my DIY topper that I affectionately call my Softarper. It's made out of a tart, just to make these a little bit easier to access here. This is the beauty of these extruded aluminum racks, is they just piece together with nuts and bolts, a couple brackets, and you can modify them pretty much however you want depending on what accessories you decide to add to it. And that allows me to pull this out just enough to where I can slide 2 of these into there. All right, with all of those back bolts loosened up, that allows me to just slide that up into the position that I want it, and I can just tighten them all back down. All right, that should be good. All right, so now I've got the 2 T-bolts in that top slot there. It's going to allow me to get this shower tent mounted up. All right, guys, so we got the Bunker Industries shower awning all mounted up on the Xtrusion Overland rack here. Just want to kind of show you guys so you can see these brackets here, just how versatile these are with all those various mounting points in there. I ended up using the second one from the end, and on my particular build, that kind of set it out at the perfect length from the truck so I can still have access behind here to, you know, close up my rooftop tent and that kind of thing. If you want it in closer, you've got closer mounting holes here, and if you need it to stick out a little bit further, there's also quite a bit more room in another mounting hole. You can get this sticking out about 1 inch further. So very versatile to whatever your build situation is, totally customizable. Real awesome product. I've actually had it on the truck for a couple weeks now since we filmed the beginning part of this video, getting it installed. Haven't had any issues with the mounting process. The spot that I chose to put it for me is like in the perfect spot. And something else too that I really like about it in this position is with how strong and durable those mounting brackets are. When I'm climbing up here to mess with the rooftop tent, I can actually use this awning as a handle to step up onto the tire and pull myself up. So it's actually extremely convenient for multiple different purposes. But we're gonna go ahead and get this thing opened up. I want to show it off to you guys, show you all the different features of it, and show you what it looks like opened up on the vehicle. So deploying the shower awning is super simple. You've just got this one single zipper here. Just unzip that whole thing, and then you're gonna flip the weatherproof cover up over the back and just kind of tuck it down behind there so it's out of the way. And then we're gonna have these 2 Velcro straps right here. We're just gonna undo those, and that's going to allow the awning to roll itself out down the side of the vehicle. And on this one strap back here, I just put the little bag that has the tent stakes in it just to kind of securely hold it in there. So you're gonna let that shower awning roll all the way down. Make sure it rolls out all the way to the ground there. And then once you get this open, you can just flip these 2 little Velcro straps back up behind there to get them out of your way. And to deploy your shower awning, you're gonna have an arm, one on each side of the tent, and those are just gonna swing out 90 degrees open. And if you look up in here, this corner bracket is what's gonna lock this into place, and you've got this little tab up here, and you just want to apply gentle pressure to this until that tab locks into place, and you're gonna hear that click, and the tab is gonna pop out as it sets into the pin there, and that's how you know that this is now locked into place. Now it's gonna be the same thing on this other side. Depending on how this is folded up, you might have the top part of this awning hanging down, kind of hiding where that's at. So if you just pick up that top part and look behind it, you're gonna see the second arm that is going to fold out. And as you fold that out, the top part of this awning is gonna have this kind of corner sewn into it. It's gonna hook itself right over the top of the awning like that. That way it holds itself up. Now on this corner right here is where your zipper is gonna be. So we can just zip this up to the top. There is a stop right there. And that way this just flaps open, and this is gonna be your door. So I'll just step inside here, grab the top for that if it fell down inside, and you can just hook the corner up over the top of the bars there, like I said a second ago. and that is going to form the roof of your shower awning. Now, you don't have to use the roof if you don't want to, but it is nice, especially if you're looking for like a privacy situation. Like if somebody's up in the rooftop tent above this, you can put the roof over this, and then you have a nice privacy situation here from all sides. Now, the next step here is we're going to put our stakes in. So you've got 4 stakes, 1 for each corner, and each corner of the shower awning is going to have this elastic cord loop on it. So what I like to do with this is I just pull these front corners out as far as I can get them, and on the corner here where the zipper is, you actually have an elastic band loop for your stake on each of the corners on either side of the zipper here. So you can choose if you want the door to be on the front, or you can set it up to where the door is on the side. In this case, I'm just going to set it up to where the door is on the front here, so we'll stake in that one on the side and leave the front loop open. All right, now I'm going to show you guys the reason that I do these front corners first, at least on my particular vehicle here. So you guys can see the way that I have that mounted on that rack, it is slightly at an angle, which means that the shower awning does come down the side of the vehicle at an angle, as opposed to if those bars were out flat, it would hang down straight, which is most likely how it's going to be on most people's builds. But it does cause one issue. If you stake those a little bit too far back, you're going to have a ton of slack in the back of the awning here. And when you come inside, you'll see all this awning that's hanging down and taking up floor space where you would want to be standing. So by staking down those front corners first, I can then take these back corners and I can stretch them out back here and stake them down, and that's going to help that be nice and square and give you plenty of standing room inside the awning. So there is a view of the Bunker Industries shower awning completely opened up on the Maverick here. Give you guys a little walk around of it. This is a pretty good looking product. I like how this one is just all black. Like, it's just very uniform, good looking shower tent. Matches the color pattern that I have on my truck with all the black accents. Of course, more importantly than how it looks is going to be the functionality of it. So coming inside the tent here, we'll go ahead and zip ourselves closed. And you can see here that there's a pretty good amount of room, even on the smaller vehicle with a little bit of slack that it has in the back here. Plenty of room to move around inside of this shower awning here. Now, when it comes to storage in this shower awning, places that you're going to put your loofah, your soap, your shaving kit, anything else you're going to have in here, this shower awning has a ton. So you've got this entire pouch built into this, and this is actually removable. It attaches up here by these little anchor points that are on the side of the shower tent. So if you don't want it in here, you can take it off, but you've got this flap that is going to close over the top of it, so water's not splashing in there while you're taking a shower. So you can open that up, and you've got these 2 huge pockets on the top right here, and you have another flap here with 2 more huge pockets down on the bottom. On the back side right here, you have another flap. Underneath the flap, you have 2 more huge pockets that you can put stuff in. So plenty of room to put anything that you're going to need in the shower tent, even for an extended trip if you have a bunch of stuff you're bringing. Now, in this back corner over here, this is where you're going to mount your shower components if that's what you're using this awning for. So you have tons of versatility for pretty much any kind of camp shower that you could think of. So for example, we've got this big open window here that's open to the vehicle. So if you're using like a Yakima style road shower that's mounted out here on the rack of your vehicle, you can run the hoses through here and you can hang your shower head on one of these hooks. Additionally, you also do have this Velcro strap up here that you can use to secure your shower head up a little bit higher if you would like to. If you're using like a bag style hanging gravity shower, you can hang the bag on one of these hooks and you can hang the shower head on the other hook or in that Velcro strap if you want. And then over in this corner, we do have one more little storage pocket right here. Next to that storage pocket, we do have this zipper that forms a portal to the outside. And there's another one down here on the bottom. So you can run the hose from your shower if you have it like mounted out on your vehicle rack through that little port if you want. Or what you can do with the one on the bottom is if you're someone that is using a floor for your shower and you want to collect the drainage water rather than letting it just go out into the environment, you can use this little portal out here to run the hose for your reservoir so you can collect all that drainage water that's coming out of your shower. You do have these 3 little Velcro straps here too, so if you have a hose that you want to secure so it's not like flopping around out here, you can do that with those. Now, one more really cool feature that I want to touch on here that's pretty unique for this particular shower is it does have this strip LED light mounted up here in the aluminum that forms the frame for the back side of the shower. And you've got this little waterproof plug here, and that's what that USB connector was for when we did the unboxing for this. So that'll plug into here, and it just has a USB-A end that you can plug into your power source, whether it be like a power station or into like a port inside of your vehicle, and that's going to provide you some light while you're in here taking a shower. The zipper's nice and easy to do one-handed if it's staked down. Now obviously this is designed to be set up as a shower tent, but this does have multiple other uses, and what we're actually using it for right now is a privacy room. So if we need to change clothes while we're out here in the campground and we don't want to walk all the way across to the bathroom or something, this is a perfect little privacy room to allow you to do that. On that same note, this is also useful for applications outside of camping as well, just in general everyday life. Like we go to the beach all the time, and a lot of the places that we go don't have bathrooms or don't have changing rooms. So if we want to change our wet clothes real quick before getting back in the car, we can just set this up and we have a privacy room to be able to do that even on a crowded beach. And in addition to all of that, another major use that these shower awnings have is you can get yourself a camp toilet, set it up in there, and then you have yourself a nice private camp toilet area if you're boondocking outside of an established campground, which is extremely convenient and can make the camping experience so much better. In terms of quality of this particular one, we already talked about like all the mounting hardware and everything, and that stuff is amazing. I mean, it is just super sturdy. I can actually hang on this, and again, I use this as a handle to climb up and work on my tent. That's how strong that is. But in terms of like the fabric and the stitching and everything, you guys can see like just the quality work here. All this stuff is all double stitched all the way around. The zipper's very strong, very durable, and again, that's all double stitched in there. And in terms of the material too, this is an extremely durable material, and it's also waterproof. So unlike the canvas that makes up my rooftop tent, this material here is going to be pretty resistant to mold and mildew. Now obviously after using the shower awning, you're still going to want to open it up and let it air dry out before you roll it back up, but it is nice that it's made out of material that is going to help resist mold and mildew, since this is a product that's obviously meant to be used with water. So that is the Bunker Industries shower awning. Very basic, very simple, but also very packed with features. There's one last thing that I want to do though. I do want to see how easy it is and how quick it is to fold this thing back up. That is one of the biggest inconveniences with camping, is when you're like trying to roll things back up, they don't fit back into the bag properly, or whatever. So let's roll this thing back up and see how easy that is to do. So take our tent stakes out first. We're going to pop those little tabs, and that's going to allow us to fold this back up. Fold that right in there. We can drape the top down the front and just grab it from the bottom and start rolling. And we've got our straps here. Just put those through the D-rings. And again, I like to take my little bag of stakes here and just kind of put that under one of those straps so it's held into place and I don't lose it. Cinch that down as tight as we can, lock it into place, and then we should be able to just bring the bag right over the top and zip it shut. Sweet. And that's it. Super simple. So for me, in terms of quality and convenience, I do highly recommend this product. I really like it. I think it's good quality. It's nice and durable. I think it's going to last a long time. And the convenience of being able to use it as a shower or as a privacy room, or if you want to put a camp toilet in here, they're just super versatile, and they make camping so much better, especially if you're out boondocking out of the campgrounds where you're not going to have those amenities. Bunker Industries, great company. I was actually familiar with them already prior to the partnership for this awning. These traction boards that I'm currently using to level the truck are Bunker Industries. I've used those several times to help recover people that have gotten themselves stuck in the sand out on the beach, and those are a fantastic product. Also, all the recovery gear, they do everything from like soft shackles to kinetic ropes and all that stuff that you can need to recover while you're out like four-wheeling or going down trails or whatever it is you're doing. So this is an awesome company. Highly recommend checking them out. They make great products, and I will have links to all of this stuff down below in the description for you guys to easily find. So thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a comment and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.